Before going to the various aspects of Singhbhum Craton, let us consider a situation where thick piles of schist, quartzite, gneiss, amphibolites, etc. occur within the granitoids. In such case, what would be our interpretation? Here we clearly see that there are two sets of rocks. First is metamorphic in nature, and second is of igneous origins. This would be our first interpretation. And secondly, as metamorphites occur within the granitoids, it means metamorphites are older than the granitoids. Now assume a situation where both of these rock units have been subjected to intense metamorphism, such that granitoids become gneiss. Since the original granitoids are of tonallitic in character, let's call it tonallitic gneiss. In this scenario, now both of the rocks becomes metamorphic in nature. Now, millions of years after, these rocks are subjected to weathering, erosion, and other superficial phenomena, and due to some tectonic activity, again previously mentioned, older rock units are intruded by huge granitic body, and those older rock units occurs as enclaves within and adjacent to this giant granitic body. Let's call these huge granitic bodies a Singhbhum granite. Now let's assume another setting where the association of sedimentary and volcanic rock occurs. These litho units occur as belts, and in all the belt succession starts with sandstone conglomerate association at the belt base, followed upward by ferruginous shells, tuff, ultramafic lavas, locally felsic, and banded iron formations. In all these belts, the banded iron formation is closely associated with mafic lavas, which shows pillow structures at places. The rocks are generally in a very low-grade metamorphic state. For the sake of the simplicity, let's consider that Singhbhum granite acts as a basement for these iron ore-bearing volcano sedimentary rocks. Till now, enough time has been lapsed, and this setting has been stabilized, and it is now the time to deposit intercratonic cover sediments over the basement. It has been observed that thick cover sediments has been unconformably overlies the Singhbhum granite and iron ore group. So now what is the takeaway up to this stage? What we have at this point is oldest metamorphic unit known as the older metamorphic group, which has been intruded by tonallitic gneiss known as the older metamorphic tonallitic gneiss, and these both units had been engulfed by so-called Singhbhum granite. An iron ore bearing volcanoclastic sedimentary rocks lies over Singhbhum granites known as iron ore group. All the above mentioned unit acts as a basement for intercratonic cover sediments of Correlating group. So the age distinction between older metamorphic group and older metamorphic tonallitic gneiss is pretty much clear, but the discrepancies occur between the iron ore group and Singhbhum granite. The contradiction occurs due to the fact that some parts of Singhbhum granite are intruded into iron ore group, which lead us to think whether Singhbhum granite is older than iron ore groups or vice versa. One school of thought considers that the Singhbhum granite to be basement of the iron ore group, while other regards the Singhbhum granite to be younger. Based on evidences of granitic provenance for the iron ore sediment, distribution of iron ore group basin flanking the Singhbhum granites all sides, and the curvature of the dominant fault axial traces around the Singhbhum granite, it is suggested that the Singhbhum granite is the basement of the iron ore group supercrystal. And also on the basis of the light crystallinity, which indicates that there is no imprint of thermal effect of Singhbhum granite on the argillaceous rock of the iron ore groups. Hence, the iron ore group is younger than the Singhbhum granites. However, definite intrusive relation of the granite with the banded iron formation has been seen in some of the area, which indicates that Singhbhum granite is younger than iron ore groups. So, what is the way out of this contradiction? Let's say Singhbhum granite is not a homogeneous granite, or it is not a single event granite but the product of multiple magmatic pulses. Let's say entire body of Singhbhum granite is amalgamation of different phases of granitic pluntisms, and some phases of the Singhbhum granites are older than iron ore groups, forming basement of the iron groups, while some are younger and intrusive to the iron ore groups. But the question is, what are the different phases of the Singhbhum granites? So the Singhbhum granite is considered of three phases: phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. One way out of this apparent contradiction is by accepting the view that the phase 3 of the Singhbhum Craton is intrusive into iron ore group, while phase 1 and phase 2 are older than that. Let us investigate the phases of Singhbhum granites. Photographically, the rocks of Singhbhum granites are biotite granodiorite grading to adamellite granite. Rarely the granodiorite grades to transamite. The rocks which belong to relatively potash-poor granodiorite transamites are classified as a phase 1 intrusions, while the phase 2 and phase 3 rocks are granodiorites grading to adamellitic granites. On the basis of rare earth pattern, the Singhbhum granite is also classified in two distinct types. Type A patterns are similar to those of the older metamorphic gneiss. These have slightly sloping rare earth pattern with moderate enriched LRE and no European anomaly, while the type B patterns have moderate enriched LRE, flat HRE, and negative European anomaly. The phase 1 and phase 2 intrusion shows type A pattern, whereas phase 3 shows type B pattern. Singhbhum granites type B constitute the major part of the granitic pluton.